What is supply chain management? Is supply chain management something to do with the factories or the retail stores or warehouses and godowns? What about transportation and trucks? People also talk about shipping and air freight, right? Or is it something to do with the latest revolution of online shopping, e-commerce, door delivery? What is supply chain management? Well, if we really take an example of one of our commonly used commodity, let's say mango juice. How does mango juice magically end up on your dining table or in your refrigerator? Let's look at how does mango juice go through the supply chain management in this example. Mangoes are collected from the farms and then they are sent into the factories which makes the juice. The factories clean them, grade them, and take the pulp out of the mangoes and process them. Eventually, the factories will package those mango juice either in a Tetra Pak or bottles or cans, and then they send them for distribution. Packaged mango juice comes into your closest supermarket or a corner grocery store from where consumers like you and me buy from the corner stores for our consumption. So the supply chain management of mango juice goes through these processes. Collection of mangoes from farm, gets into the factory for a juice making, gets packaged, processed and packaged, and then comes into the supermarkets and the grocery stores for consumers' last mile consumption. Let's also look at a couple more examples of supply chain management. For generations, we have got used to getting milk at our doorsteps every morning, right? Have you ever imagined how does milk arrive at your doorstep? How does Nandini milk in Bengaluru arrive at your doorstep day in, day out? Let's look at this. Cow's milk is collected at the farms and then sent to the local dairies. From local dairies, it is sent to the central processing dairy at a larger city where it gets processed and then packaged and then sent for distribution. Then the Nandini milk comes to the nearby either Nandini parlors or a retail distributor and so on. That is how magically that milk comes at your doorstep. But you must be wondering how do they get you the exact type of milk? As you know, there are probably a dozen varieties of Nandini milk, but then you will always get the right variety. By the way, that entire supply chain is managed with human intelligence without much of technology into it. Isn't that wonderful? Let's also look at another example which is around us, which is the distribution of newspaper every morning. How does this happen? News gets collated, composed, and then printed in the publication house, and then it is actually sent through the wholesaler and the retail distributor. That's how you would be seeing some of the neighborhoods having early morning distribution of the last mile of newspaper through the delivery boys and so on. Again, isn't this another great example of supply chain without much of a technology but only with the human intelligence and practice, which gets you the right newspaper almost every morning without fail? Now, let's sum it up. What is supply chain management? It's all about moving raw materials, processing or packaging, storing packaged goods, distributing across a retail network, to the last point of consumption. Or in other words, in a single sentence, movement and storage of goods and services is referred to as supply chain management.